Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching Mark's Out Wrestling Aftershock Reviews, where it's still real to me. Today we're talking about the actual AEW All Out event. We already had our predictions video with Chuck Rodriguez, where we were doing some comparisons here and there, so we're going to compare what we thought back then with what actually happened. And the last time we did this with Fighter Fest, it was always a case of either we were both right, or we were both wrong, or I was wrong and he was right, but never a case where I was right and he was wrong. So let's see if it's different this time. And what can I say? It was a very busy weekend for wrestling. We also had, besides the AEW All Out, there was also NXT UK TakeOver, which I believe was around the same time. So you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to watch. Of course, we chose AEW. With the network, you guys can just go back and watch NXT later on at your convenience. And we also had the following day Rise Women's Wrestling, a women tournament there, as well as a rematch of Priscilla Kelly versus Atlas. They were the last two people on the previous Doors match in the previous Rise Pride event. So, yeah, big rematch there. And also, Double D Rose has a Buns of Steel challenge where people can bring weapons. And I don't really understand it if they're referring to random wrestlers bringing weapons or the actual audience bringing weapons to, I guess, try to hit her ass with a chair or something. I don't know. Anything related to Double D Rose is extreme indies, just like Joey Ryan. So I can't wait to watch that. I'll be watching that later tonight, and I'll give my review sometime during the week. But that sounds crazy already. And so yeah, now on to the event. So the first match we had was the Casino Battle Royale, but this time like a female version. It's 21 women, and the winner of this event is going to face the winner of another match between two women later on that night, and those two will fight it out on the first episode of AEW on TNT October 2nd to determine who will be the very first AEW Women World Champion. And yeah, you kind of follow the rules. There's 5 women, and they come in groups based on, you know, the hearts, the clubs, the diamonds, and the spades. So it's like 5 each. And then a mysterious Joker card at the end. So it's kind of interesting. And yeah, so here are our thoughts on who we thought was going to win.
I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb, and I say Awesome Kong wins, just because she's the biggest name in there.
I'll go for Britt Baker. I mean, maybe she makes the most sense. Now, of course, for something like this, it's kind of difficult to have like an informed guess of who's going to win, because we didn't know. We had no idea of who of all was going to be there. You got all these surprise guests and the Joker card and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty surprising. First of all, Penelope Ford and Sadie Gibbs finally made their appearance. They finally showed up and kicked some ass and did something. They were announced for quite a while on the AEW website, but we haven't really seen them perform just yet, so now we finally get to see some action there. Teal Piper was there. She did her sleeper hold, just kind of cool, kind of reminds us of her dear old dad. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell is Priscilla Kelly doing there? Holy shit, what the hell is Tennille Dashwood doing there? I was like, damn, you know? And then, of course, the moment B. Priestley walked down the ring, holy shit, Britt Baker just jumped out of the ring, went at her, tackled her down, and started punching the crap out of her. And I'm like, holy crap, these two women are like, they hate each other, man. They're just beating the shit out of each other. And for most of the match, they directed their focus mostly on each other and not so much everybody else. And yeah, so Nyla Rose basically cleaned house. She destroyed everybody. Not even Awesome Kong could stop her. And everybody was kind of going out here and there. And also, the Joker card turned out to be Mercedes Martinez. And I was also like, Mercedes Martinez, what the fuck? You know, like just out of nowhere. And she was kicking ass a bit. But in the end, the final people were Nyla Rose, Priestley, and Baker. And Nyla was stuck on the rope. So we really thought that at that point, Baker and Priestley were both going to like run and just drop kick her out. And then the final thing would be between those two. But no, Nyla actually hung on and kicked them both back. And she got rid of Priestley. At the end, it was her and Baker. But Priestley grabbed Baker's leg from the end and pulled her, like helped pull her out. So Nyla Rose won. Priestley basically cost Baker the match. So of course that's gonna like you know, pump up their feud even more. And Nyla is now the winner of the Casino Battle Royale match. And she'll face whoever wins later on the other match to see who will be the first AEW Women's Champion. But wow. Like, Chuck and I could have predicted that one, but to be fair, with so many different women coming around, like, again, Priscilla Kelly, Tennille Dashwood, and Mercedes Martinez, we could have not predicted that. It was kind of hard to tell who was actually going to win this one. So the next match we had here was Private Party. We had Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Queen fighting against Angelico and Jack Evans tag team match. And here's our thoughts.
I say Private Party takes this. I want to see more of these guys. I want to see, them justify them being signed.
Yeah, I'm also going for Private Party. They did a good job, and the last match they had a bit of a little showing there. Had a little showcase of their skills, so I was, pretty impressed with them. So I'm also going for Private Party. I hope you win there.
Private Party, they're younger, they're faster, they're hungrier. I say youth serves them all.
Yeah, so both Chuck and I were right about this one. Private Party took it. It was a pretty good match. It was what people call a lot of flippy shit, but it was pretty good. They're very talented. Private Party impressed us. Jack and Evans did, and Jericho and Evans did a good job fighting, staying in there, lasting to the match. They got a weird, I guess, like biker, skater, raver type gimmick. I see in their entrance. One of them does a lot of poses that like a skateboarder would do when they're catching some air. So I guess that's kind of sort of their gimmick. But yeah, Private Party took this match. They won. And Evans and Angelico acted kind of humble at first. But then all of a sudden, bam, they started attacking them like heels, like sore losers. They attacked Private Party. They knocked them down and everything. And despite them losing, they were all like, we're the best tag team and whatever. So hopefully Private Party gets some revenge on them later on. So now to start the actual show, we got So-Called Uncensored, which is Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky, going up against, I guess now they're called Jurassic Express, which is Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt in a 6-man tag. And it's kind of funny because So-Called Uncensored, SCU, always seems to be like the big show opener. Most of these events always start off with SCU, and I guess it's kind of a good way of knowing that if SCU is going to open the show, you're in for a good time. So here are predictions on that match.
I say Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt get the win and establish themselves. I think SCU speaks for themselves. They don't necessarily need a win like that.
But I'm going to give it to Luchasaurus, their side, their team, because Luchasaurus is over as all hell, and he'll take them down. Well, it was a pretty good match here. It was pretty fast-paced. It was just full of crazy flipping around, what people like to call flippy shit. And it always never ceases to amaze us just how amazing Christopher Daniels is for his age. And even though I guess he might be a bit slower now than he was before, it's still he's very impressive. It's amazing. Lots of good moves here and there. Of course, the big deal here, the big showstopper is Luchasaurus. He is just over as all hell. Everyone just pops whenever he gets into the ring. He just takes everyone down. He's very agile for someone his size. And those kicks, man, he just delivers those kicks with perfection. I think he actually had all 3 of them lined up, and he just kicked all 3 of them across the face. That's pretty cool. And of course he also picks up Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. They could I guess he could throw them so they could do hurricanranas and stuff like that on the people, and that's pretty amazing. And I like the last match he had, he did something with Jungle Boy. Now he picked up Marco Stunt for that. And yeah, so the big surprise of both me and Chuck is that they actually got rid of Luchasaurus near the end, and SCU was able to score the win. So they defeated the Jurassic Express, and it's wow, I was pretty surprised. And I mean, SCU doesn't necessarily need this win, so to speak, but I do believe they gotta win once in a while to kind of remind us why they're so awesome. And honestly speaking, these guys, especially Luchasaurus himself, they're just so over right now. They can afford to lose, 1 or 2 matches, whatever. They'll probably win the next one or something like that. It'll be pretty cool. And again, by how awesome these guys are, I kind of assume that in the future, if they ever do singles competition, I mean, Luchasaurus got in the bag. He's very beloved. He's very awesome. So yeah, that was a surprise to both me and Chuck that SCU actually scored one over Luchasaurus and his buddies. And then we had Kenny Omega fighting against Pac, and of course Pac is replacing Jon Moxley, who has this an infection and an injury and stuff like that. So now Kenny Omega has to fight against Pac instead, and here are our thoughts.
I'm going to say Pac wins because Mox comes out and does something.
I'm gonna say Kenny Omega wins, but he might still come out and do something while he's busy celebrating. He may still jump from behind.
I'm pulling for my boy Kenny, but I just say there's some shenanigans that cost him the match.
Alright, so this is the big match in which Pac finally shows off what he can do. Finally showing up in AEW. He's been, not showing up recently with the whole Dragon Gate thing. I think he was supposed to wrestle at either Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen, and then it was announced, of course, he's not showing up either for that, So now, finally, he's here, even though it was kind of weird by replacement of Moxley, but yeah, he's finally here. And I gotta say, he looks badass. I'm digging the beard now. When he first did that in WWE, I didn't like him being like a heel at first. I didn't dig the whole, I'm the king of the cruiserweights and all that. I also used to his face persona. But now, I don't know, I guess I got used to it already. He's been heel for a while now. I kind of got used to it. You kind of forget that's the same guy, the man that gravity forgot and all that. But, damn, he always looks like that scowl on his face. He looks ready to just tear shit up, just to destroy, And, so Kenny Omega kind of came off kind of I guess, overconfident, not taking Pac seriously. He's like, yeah, this guy, are you serious? And that's how they kind of played it. He tried to do a couple of moves, and Pac surprised him by, escaping them or reacting too quickly. There was a time that he was going to throw him or something, slam him back, but Pac just flipped and got up like nothing. So Kenny's like, oh, okay, you got some game there, And, yeah, it's a pretty interesting fight there. Kenny Omega actually reserved his B trigger for later on in the match. He didn't pull it off so quickly like he sometimes does. And I noticed that with Pac, the red arrow is now called the black arrow. I have to kind of chuckle at that. And yeah, it's pretty intense. Kenny Omega got him with the B trigger. He got him with the one-wing angel and everything. But still, Pac was still able to overcome. Pac was able to hit him and get him in position for the black arrow, but Omega still avoided it and everything. And in the end, when they were trying to, I think Omega was trying to grab him for the one-wing angel again, but Pac actually did some kind of weird grapple thing that, it was like a sleeper hold. It was like a sleeper hold, but we didn't know. At first, it was like this weird grapple move, and we're like, what the hell is he doing? And they both fell on the mat, but it was in the position that, Pac was still on top there, so it kind of counted like a pin, and we were like, oh, that's a pin, and when the referee goes there, the referee's like, stopping the fight because Omega was out. He was out. We're like, holy shit, that's a sleeper. And for me, I was surprised because it's very rare that a sleeper wins a match. Usually the wrestler still gets, pumped up and gets out of it or whatever. But no, this actually won the match. I was surprised that it wasn't by his, his trademark finisher, the Black Arrow, I guess. But it was like a sleeper hold. It just came out of nowhere. I was surprised. I was like, holy shit. And Pac won. So, yeah, Chuck was right. Chuck assumed that Pac was going to win. There was no Moxley, though, but he still won. And I went with Kenny Omega, so I got it wrong. But, yeah, it's a pretty good match. I don't think it takes away too much from Omega. It'll give him a shot. Maybe they're going to build up that storyline where Kenny's going to take it more seriously next time, or reserve it a next time and see what's going on. But, yeah, Pac wins this one. So, another thing we were kind of surprised. We were surprised that match was so high up in the card. It was like the second fight of the actual event. We were thinking something that epic was going to wait a bit later, but, So, then we had the three-way match of Darby Allin, Joey Janela, and Jimmy Havoc, what they call a Cracker Barrel Clash, whatever that means. I guess it's non-disqualification because weapons were used in this match. But, yeah, that was the match, and here's our thoughts.
But I think Joey Janela takes it because I think Joey Janela has the most upside out of all three of the participants.
So yeah, I'm going to just take a risk here. I know that of the three of them, Joey Janela's got the bigger body type and everything, but I'm going to risk it all with Darby Allin. See how that goes.
Cough and drop.
Yep. So the first thing you got to say is, oh my god, there was some crazy shit during this match. And the things I remember the most was they grabbed Havoc and tied him to a chair with duct tape. They grabbed a little container that was full of thumbtacks. They put thumbtacks in his mouth and covered it with the duct tape. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was already, my neck hurt watching that. I'm like, dude, you could swallow those by accident or something. I was just just thinking, oh God, you know? And on top of that, he was still daring Allen to jump off the rope and go at him. Like, I don't know. These guys are crazy. That's like, you think he's seen it all with the other match. I'm not really like familiar with too many hardcore matches, but that was just insane, dude. And then later on, Darby Allin, I think it was him, grabbed a skateboard that was completely covered with thumbtacks at the bottom. It was like a spiky skateboard, and he actually jumped. I believe he skated off Joey Janela's back, and now his back was just covered in thumbtacks and everything. And I was like, oh, dude, that is literally shredding the half pipe right there on Janela's back. And then the craziest thing, the most suicidal thing, is that Darby Allin grabbed one of the cracker barrels and was going to do a coffin drop off the top rope through a table on top of, I think, Janela, one of them, but they got out of the way, so he just like destroyed himself. He jumped off, he crashed through the barrel and through the table, and it's like, holy shit, Darby Allin just died on Bleacher Report Live. I'm like, holy crap, he was just dead. Our friends were like, yeah, he's dead, he's dead, and everything, and he was out for the rest of the match, you know. So at the end, I believe they, Havoc slammed Joey Janela through like another barrel and stuff, and now everyone started throwing barrels and things at each other and biscuits and whatever. And in the end, Jimmy Havoc actually won the match. So in this case, we were both wrong, because I was going for my boy Darby Allin, and Chuck was going for Joey Janela, but in the end, Jimmy Havoc won. But holy shit, so I don't know. One thing I forgot to mention when I was reviewing, I think it was Spider Fest, was that Darby Allin also did a jump off to fall on Cody, but Cody got out of the way, so he threw himself back first into the hardest part of the ring, I believe the coffin drop, and that was like, oh God. And now he did it again with the cracker barrel and the table and stuff. It's like, so I guess Darby Allin's thing is just trying to fucking kill himself in a match or something, and it's just like, wow. I mean, I don't know. Maybe someday you'll land on your target, Darby Allin. Maybe someday. But oh God. Okay, so the next match here was finally the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson going up against the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Barreta. It's been going on for a while. They've been targeted. It's like, you will be the first ones. You're the first victims and all that. But also, the winner of this match will get the first round buy-in at the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. So they're on their way to become the first ever tag team champs. So we'll see what happens. And here are our thoughts. Now it's like the big match. I'm going to give it to the Dark Order because it just makes sense after all this build-up, after all this, like, we're targeting you, you're the first ones you're going to go after. Like you just got to win, or else it's just like all talk.
Dark Order is your biggest heel team in the bunch, and you have to establish them from the onset.
Yeah, so it pretty much happened what me and Chuck were thinking about. The Dark Order were going to win. The Dark Order was going to demolish these guys because this is their big thing. This is their big debut. This is their big, put up or shut up. You're talking all this threatening trash. You're talking like we're going to get you and all that stuff. And now it's time to deliver, and they delivered, The best friends, of course, did what they could. They put up a good fight, but the Dark Order just fucking demolished them. And this is when the Creepers actually got involved as well. The Creepers came at them and started beating them up whenever they're out of the ring, whenever the referee didn't see or whatever. So this time they actually got involved. And in the end, after they won and everything, like, all the Creepers in them started picking up the best friends, and they were going to take them in the back. And I was thinking, oh shit, is this going to be like Rosemary, that she takes you to the back, and then the next time you come back evil or something? Because that's kind of cool, though. They are called the Dark Order. It could be like a big group, they could induct others into their group. That's a good idea. But all of a sudden, before that can happen, the lights go out, the lights come back on, and Orange Cassidy is there. Like, the fuck is he doing here? And Orange Cassidy jumps off the ropes, hands still in pockets, mind you, and takes out the entire Dark Order. And those guys just got the hell out of there because, Orange Cassidy, one of the most dangerous guys in the ring to work with. You don't want to get too injured. You don't want to be like crippled for life, so you better get out of there. And yeah, so the best friends both give their hug with Orange Cassidy stuck in the middle, and there you go. And once again, Orange Cassidy is officially signed with AEW. We'll see how that goes. But wow. So then we have Hikaru Shida versus Riho, and the winner of this match would be the one to go face Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's Championship. match at the first episode of AEW on TNT October 2nd. And here are our thoughts. I'll just give it to Hikaru Shida, see how it goes. I haven't really seen enough of them in action to give, a proper opinion on who it takes. So you're going for Riho then?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so it's a pretty decent match here. Not too much I can say. I guess I wasn't really invested in the match as I should have been. I tried to still watch, see what it could do and everything. But in my opinion, at first I was thinking that it really should have been Priestley versus Baker and see how they go at it. I would have cared way more if it was those two. But at the same time, I'm thinking that no, their rivalry works better if they were separate. Because now we've got two storylines with women. We got one that's trying to be the champ, and then we got the blood feud between Priestley and Baker. It's kind of good to have separate storylines, but I don't know. I just don't really care much about Shida and Riho. It could have been anyone else. It could have been Penelope Ford versus Sadie Gibbs, or Ali versus what's her name, versus Brandy, having a legit fight, without Awesome Kong interfering. I don't know, but yeah, it's a decent match. I gotta say, Riho's extremely tiny, and I feel bad for her the way, because Shida don't care. Shida was grabbing her and bending her backwards in such weird, painful ways, and bending her knee and a whole bunch of junk to kind of, disable her so she couldn't do the 619 and everything. But in the end, some way, somehow, Riho won the match. So now she's the next contender, and Nyla Rose came out to kind of remind her that, yeah, I'm coming for you, for the title. And I gotta say, this is going to be the ultimate match, the female version of David and Goliath, because Riho is tiny, okay? Riho is so tiny that even if she had a match against, Britt Baker or Priestley or Penelope Ford or whatever, there's a size difference there. I think she's even shorter and smaller than Yuka Sakazaki, and she's also tiny. So, I don't know. I really think that, it's a bold prediction, but I really think that Riho will defeat Nyla Rose some way, somehow, but it's a matter of how. Just how. We don't know. I mean, we'll see if she has the heart, we'll see if she has the guts, and we'll see if she can survive. But that's the match right there. Riho versus Nyla Rose for championship. We'll see. And then we had Cody versus Shawn Spears, that now has Tully Blanchard in his corner. And it's, of course, revenge kind of grunge match, since Shawn Spears basically busted Cody's head wide open with a steel chair at the end of Fyter Fest. So we'll see how that goes. And here are our thoughts.
And then Cody is allowed to have one person escort him out, which I'm going to predict might be Anderson.
There you go, original Four Horsemen. I want to go for Shawn Spears because, Cody can't win all the damn time. So I'm going to go for Shawn Spears in this one. There's going to be some shenanigans or something's going to happen there. You got Mr. Blanchard there. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Tully being out there, he's going to have Spears as a nice, well-oiled machine. And yeah, this was interesting match. I do gotta say I have a bit of mixed opinions on Shawn Spears a bit. When he first appeared, he was badass though. Okay, he was badass. He had the hoodless, the sleeveless hoodie with the hood covering his whole face, so you can't see anything. It's just all dark and stuff, and he's walking all slow. He kind of reminds me of Kukri from King of Fighters 14 with that faceless kind of hood thing, and he looks very intense. And then when he takes off his hood, he's got these bright white contact lenses on. It makes him look even more intense, more insane, with his eyes wide open. He's ready to just destroy, And then Cody comes out for some weird reason. Cody comes out with Brandy Rhodes and MJF and Diamond Dallas Page all wearing Star Trek outfits. And I don't know, I'm not sure if Chicago is supposed to be known for being Star Trek fans or whatever. Now, the only thing I can guess is that Brandy Rhodes was dressed up as 7 of 9, and oh my god, there's no complaints there. She can dress up as 7 of 9 anytime she wants. But I'm thinking that 7 of 9 is also supposed to be on that brand new Star Trek show. I think the show's literally just called Picard, because Captain Picard comes back. I think the show's just flat out called Picard. And I'm thinking that since Brandy was 7 of 9, I'm thinking that was maybe a reference that the show finally premiered already or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe the show's going to be on TNT, so they're promoting it that way.
I don't know. It was very weird, very peculiar, and everything. But anyways, once Cody shows up, holy shit, he runs into Shawn Spears and starts beating the crap out of him and takes him out to the back and starts beating him up amongst the crowd, amongst the audience before the match even starts, before the bell's even rung. And I'm like, well, so much for Shawn Spears, doesn't look so badass now. And so the match started. Cody basically, he took over most of the match there. A lot of Shawn Spears stuff was like dirty tactics. There was a moment that Tully grabbed him so that Shawn could get some cheap shots in. Shawn Spears was trying to hit him with his own belt, that little belt that Cody has. He took it off, he was going to hit him with it, but the referee saw it, and the referee made him toss it out. But while the referee was distracted with MJF or whatever, Shawn took off his actual regular belt and whipped him with it a couple of times. And MJF, I guess, trying his best to be face because he's friends with Cody. He still had that smug expression though. He was trying to distract the referee, I guess, in Cody's favor, but Cody was still getting beat up anyway. So Cody mostly got beat up due to dirty tactics here and there. But in the end, Cody still grabbed Spears with the code, no, not code breaker. Where did that come from? In the end, he grabbed Shawn Spears with the crossroads and won the match. And it was also a surprise moment where Arn Anderson, one of the original Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson came in, grabbed Shawn Spears, and hit him with the spine buster. We're like, holy shit, he can still do that at his age and everything. And he walked out, and I guess Tully was like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, man? And he followed him out, so I guess that was the end of that. That was the end of Tully interfering and everything. And so we were both wrong. Both me and Chuck were going for Shawn Spears, but Cody still won this one. MJF was suspiciously grabbing a chair behind Cody before Cody turned to see him. And then MJF turned on the charm, hey, we're friends, everyone's happy, everyone's celebrated, but we're watching you, MJF, we're watching you. We know you're gonna do something. We know you're gonna do something, Mr. Salt of the Earth. And Cody takes this one. So then after this, we got the tag team match. We got the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, going up against the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fénix at the Escalera de la Muerte for the AAA World Tag Team Championships, which is basically a ladder match. You gotta get the belt to the top of the ladders. And here are our thoughts. And I'm still going to give it to the Young Bucks because they have an advantage now, just like how they super kicked Cody in the back of the head after he got his head cracked open with a chair. They may just do something. They may take advantage of that knee. So yeah, I'm going to support my boys till the very end. Young Bucks every time. Well, it's a pretty good match. I got to say that despite the fact that Rey Fénix was injured in the previous match, it was not a factor here. It was not referenced at all whatsoever, and there was no moment of the Young Bucks, I guess, targeting his leg or whatever part that he got injured. So if I had never heard about it, all the behind-the-scenes news and just watched the match, I never would have known. So it was a non-factor. And it's a pretty crazy ladder match. I think the ladders were too short. They kept getting ladders that, I don't know, they could have gotten a taller one to get to the belts up there. They also did a lot of reverse things, or I don't know how to describe it. It was one of the Young Bucks would always grab one of the Lucha Bros, while one of the Lucha Bros would grab one of the Young Bucks, and they would both take down each other's opponent at the same time. They both had duo cutters. They both had one of their opponents on the top of the ladder, and they both jumped down through a table at the same time. They're doing a lot of that during the match. Of course, all the cero, miedo stuff, but now the Young Bucks were cero huevos, so you know what cero huevos means, but they're doing that a lot. The audience was cheering cero huevos, cero miedo, cero huevos for quite a while. Gotta love that Mexican swearing, am I right? And in the end, it was kind of scary. That was a spot where one of the Young Bucks jumped off the ladder, and I guess he was supposed to jump off the ladder and fall onto the table, but the guy got out of the way, so he just hit the table. But the thing is, when he jumped off the ladder, he didn't the fall wasn't clean. His feet still bounced off the ropes a little bit. He still touched the ropes a bit, and that was kind of dangerous because that could have affected how he fell. He could have fallen in some other weird way that was not planned, and he just destroyed that table. When they showed the replay a couple of times, it showed us how the legs kind of touched the ropes a bit on the way down. Because you know what I mean, right? It was supposed to be a straight arc, not touching the ropes at all. But his legs touching the ropes could have really made that happen, like very, very wrongly, very dangerously. And yeah, that dude was down and out. He was dead. Our friend was like, yup, he's dead. He's like, he's not getting up. And yeah, he wasn't getting up. So the Lucha Brothers grabbed him and took him down, and they won the match. And yeah, the Lucha Brothers won, and they regained the AAA World Tag Team Championship titles, and that is awesome. We were both surprised. We both went for the Young Bucks. The Lucha Brothers surprised us. But I guess I should have known better, because the Lucha Brothers son los mejores, son el mejor tag team del mundo, you know. So, wow. And another thing is I'm wondering, like, how long they're going to do this. It's kind of weird how they keep chanting each other for the AAA titles, like here in AEW. I wonder what they're going to do whenever they both don't have the title. Will the Lucha Brothers still keep fighting here? Or will some other tag team randomly interrupt? Oh, and speaking of that, holy shit, speaking of that, I almost forgot. When the Lucha Brothers won, they announced their victory, blah, blah, blah. They got the belts and stuff. All of a sudden, these mysterious guys show up wearing these weird president masks. I think it was like Nixon and Clinton, I don't know. And, yeah, they took out the brothers. They took out the Lucha Brothers. And it was like, holy shit, who are these guys? Who are these guys? And we were thinking here and there. We had a couple of rumors, you know, on the back burner. And yes, LAX from Impact Wrestling is now here. They both attacked them, and I don't know, like I was just saying a moment ago, but now that I remember, I wonder if LAX will also become another contender for the AAA Tag Team Championship. I wonder if now this is going to cause like a new feud to start between the Lucha Brothers and LAX, so they can kind of leave the Young Bucks alone. But holy shit, that was unexpected. We heard rumors about them ending their contract with Impact Wrestling, and we were not sure if they were going to go with WWE or with, you know, AEW. But yeah, they're in AEW, so holy shit, you know. And now for the last match, the big match, the final match to determine who will be the first ever AEW World Champion. We got Chris Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page, who actually came in on a horse. That was pretty badass. And, well, riding a horse, I should say. But you know what I mean. He came in a horse, and that was pretty awesome. And, yeah, here are our thoughts.
Jericho wins.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho is the recognizable face in this. He takes it. You want to build your company around Jericho while you still can. Get them established, and then build up somebody else to finally take the belt off him. But putting the belt on Jericho is smart.
Yeah.
As much as I love Hangman, I think there's a bigger story to be told with him.
I'm going for Jericho too. He's the biggest name. I've heard nothing but complaints about people not wanting Hangman Page to win. Alright, so I gotta say, this match was very slow paced in the beginning. I have to be perfectly honest. I was kind of bored in the beginning. It was a mixture, I think, that it was past 11. We were kind of tired and worn out. You know, we already got all the excitement out of us by now of all the other matches. And, of course, Chris Jericho is not as fast as he used to be. He's up there in age. And I don't know if Hangman Page is just a guy with slow matches. Because that last match he had versus Kip Sabian, considering the fact that Kip is a younger guy, he's like a high-flying, you know, flippy shit kind of guy. And that match was also slow. I don't know if it's just Hangman Page's style. I haven't really seen much of his matches on his own when he's not with his other buddies for the Elite. But, yeah. So, yeah, I was trying to stay awake. I was trying to be like, okay, you know, come on, let's get pumped up. It's gotta be good. This is like the big one. This is for the championship, yo. You know, I was trying to get myself invested. But, yeah, it was so slow in the beginning. It did pick up a bit later on. Similar to how Chris Jericho hit him with the elbow and busted his eye, and he had like all that blood and stuff at, I think it was Spike for the Fallen, like a sneak attack there. It was similar now where Adam Page actually hit Jericho with the buckshot lariat in the same eye, I think, and now Chris Jericho is the one busted open and bleeding and trying to, you know, make up for the lack of vision now in one eye. And, yeah, they fought it out. Jericho tried to land the walls of Jericho a couple of times, trying to see if he could make him submit that way. Adam Page tried to get him in the Deadeye Pile Driver a couple of times. So a bit of, you know, they started grappling. Now it got a bit more serious, a bit more intense there as they started to get at it near the end. And near the end, Jericho was trying to get him in the walls of Jericho again, but somehow Hangman Page reversed it and got him with the Deadeye Pile Driver. And I was like, holy shit, are they really going to do this? Is he really going to win? Holy crap. And no, Chris Jericho kicked out. And whenever Hangman Page was getting ready to like attack and everything, Jericho got him with everyone's least favorite finishing move, the Jericho effect. The double dragon spinning elbow of doom. And of course that's protected. Hangman Page is dead to the world. And Chris Jericho is the first ever AEW World Champ. And yeah, Chuck and I predicted this. We kind of saw it coming, a mile away. Honestly, if Hangman Page won, we would have been like, holy shit, they're actually doing this. Like, I would have been super surprised. But it just makes more sense for Jericho to win. Mostly because they're having a new show on TNT. And, not many people like us are actually like paying $50 to watch these events. And even the free ones are on Bleacher Report Live that I don't think it's a very popular thing most people have. So not everyone's going to be checking it out, even if it's for free or anything. So I don't know. It just makes more sense for me that once AEW is actually on TV and people can actually tune in to watch TV, like it makes more sense to have a recognizable face like Chris Jericho as your champion, as the main guy that everybody's trying to get at, trying to defeat, as opposed to Hangman Page that unfortunately, aside from us guys that like the Indies and Ring of Honor and the Elites and Bullet Club and all that stuff, but for the average Joe, Hangman Page is a nobody. You kind of can't just start like the event, your brand new TV show with a random nobody as a champ. So it just makes more sense that Chris Jericho is the champ to start the show and, build awareness. People are like, yo, Chris Jericho's out there, I'll check it out, And at the same time, it should build up Hangman Page. I think that if he won the belt, it would have been too soon. But if he fights for it now and goes through more opponents and fights his way to the top to get another rematch with Jericho and actually wins it, then it'll feel more earned. Then you'll get all the people cheering. Then it'll be like a much more deserved win. So, what can I say? Overall, All Out was pretty amazing. I gotta say, the thing that I guess stuck with me the most was holy shit, the thumbtacks, man, the thumbtacks. Like you could have swallowed those, man. What the fuck? But yeah, pretty good matches. Also, the surprise of seeing these surprise women in the Battle Royale, that was also pretty badass. And yeah, and also LAX making an appearance, Arn Anderson making an appearance. That's all pretty cool. I think the only downsides to the All Out event, to be perfectly honest, is the Riho versus Hikaru Shida match. I just really didn't care, unfortunately. It was a decent match. I don't know, just wasn't invested. And the first half of the Jericho and Hangman Page match, it was kind of boring. It's just, I was trying to get into it. It was just kind of boring. I don't know. So those are the only two downsides. I do gotta say, the buy-in was also pretty good though. I know a lot of people were complaining a lot about the previous buy-ins because a lot of times they got a couple of comedy things in the buy-ins and people complain that's kind of a turn-off because if you want to entice customers to watch this for free and then be like, oh shit, this is awesome, where's my wallet, let me buy the actual event, and you put comedy stuff, it might turn some people off. Now in my opinion, I love the crazy wacky comedy they've been doing, like that crazy match they had with Nakazawa versus the guy, the CEO guy with the weird plastic things and the toys and acting like they're like real, and that was just good, funny, crazy shit. But I understand how people don't like it, but at least for this one, the two matches they had, the Women's Battle Royale and the Private Party versus SCU, those were like solid matches. Those were, no, it wasn't SCU, was it? It was someone else. It was Private Party and Angelico and Evans. Yeah, it was them. And those were two like solid matches, so it's kind of good, it's kind of good. So anyways guys, Mark Rodriguez here, and we'll see you next time for your next event. I will be watching that women's tournament with Rise Women's Wrestling sometime tonight, so you can expect my review sometime during the week. But till then, see you next time. This has been Mark South Wrestling Aftershock Reviews, where it's still real to me. See you next time.